she ruled the most powerful empire on earth. Not as queen, not as consort, but as emperor. Her name was Wu Zetian, known in her time as Wu Zhou, a woman who defied every tradition of imperial China to seize the throne for herself. Praised as a capable ruler, condemned as a ruthless usurper, her story is one of ambition, intelligence, and survival in a world built to exclude her. But who was the real Wu Zetian, the woman behind the legend? Wu Zhou was born around 624, during the height of the Tang Dynasty, a period of immense wealth, culture, and international influence. The Tang court at Chang'an was the center of the known world, a crossroads of Persian merchants, Buddhist monks, and scholars from across Asia. Wu was born into a relatively well-off family in Wenshui, in modern-day Shanxi province. Her father, Wu Shihuo, served as a military officer and later a governor, which gave her access to education, rare for girls at the time. By the time she reached her teens, Emperor Taizong was at the height of his power. Like many ambitious families, the Wu household offered their daughter to the imperial harem, a chance, however slim, at influence. At age 14, Wu entered the palace of Emperor Taizong, the second Tang emperor, as a karen, one of the lowest ranks of concubine. She served in his court, worked as a secretary, drafting imperial edicts and learning the mechanics of power firsthand, but did not bear him children, and after Taizong's death in 649, tradition dictated that his concubines retire to a Buddhist convent. By all expectations, Wu's story should have ended there. Yet for Wu Zhou, it was only the beginning. When Taizong's son, Gaozong, took the throne, he remembered Wu from the palace. Some later chronicles hint at an earlier affection between them, but we can't know for certain. What we do know is that within a few years, Gaozong summoned her back from the convent, breaking sacred taboo and igniting scandal. When Wu Zhou returned to the palace in the early decade of 650, the Tang court was already divided. Emperor Gaozong was young and uncertain, often overshadowed by his father's legacy. Two women dominated his household: Empress Wang, noble but childless, and consort Zhao, his favored companion. Wu's return from the convent shocked the court. She had once been the concubine of Gaozong's father, Emperor Taizong. Yet Gaozong was captivated by her intelligence and composure. Unlike most women at court, Wu understood administration and politics, skills she had learned in Taizong's service. Empress Wang initially saw no threat in her, but Wu soon gained the emperor's trust and crucially bore him children, something neither Wang nor Shao had done. Her influence deepened, and by 654, a mysterious tragedy tipped the balance: the death of her infant daughter. The child was found dead in her cradle, and suspicion immediately fell on Empress Wang. Gaozong, already frustrated with Wang's family faction, accepted the accusation and turned against her. Later historians, writing under Confucian dynasties that condemned female power, claimed Wu Zhou had killed her own child to frame the empress. But no contemporary source confirms this, and many modern scholars see it as political slander, not proven fact. What is certain is that the tragedy destroyed Wu's rivals. Gaozong accused both Wang and Shao of witchcraft, stripped them of their titles, and had them executed. The path was clear. In 655, Wu Zhou was crowned Empress of China, a move that stunned the empire. Her intelligence, her grasp of court politics, and her unshakable ambition had carried her from a forgotten concubine to the most powerful woman in China. Once empress, Wu Zhou became Gaozong's most trusted advisor. The emperor suffered from chronic illness and relied on her judgment. Soon, she was reading petitions, issuing decrees, and sitting beside him at court audiences. This period, sometimes called the Reign of Two Emperors, saw stability and prosperity return to the Tang court. Wu supported capable officials regardless of family background, strengthened the imperial examination system, and promoted agriculture and education. After Gaozong's death in 683, power briefly passed to their son, Emperor Zhongzong. But when he showed signs of independence, Wu deposed him and replaced him with another son, Ruizong, effectively ruling as regent. China now had a woman commanding the empire. Officially still the mother of the emperor, but in truth, its sole authority. In 690, after years of controlling the government through her sons, Wu Zhao took the final step. She proclaimed herself Huangdi, Emperor of China, and declared the founding of a new dynasty, the Zhou, ending centuries of male-only rule. To mark the moment, she created a new character for her name, Zhao, meaning to illuminate heaven. It symbolized her vision of divine authority and enlightenment. From that moment, Wu Zhao, as she was known in her lifetime, was recognized as emperor, but later generations would remember her by a new name, Wu Zetian, meaning ruler of heaven. She remains the only woman to ever sit upon China's dragon throne. To justify her claim, Wu invoked Buddhist prophecy, commissioning texts that described a coming Maitreya Buddha, a divine ruler who would bring peace and justice. And she identified herself as that savior. This religious strategy strengthened her legitimacy among both monks and the people. Her reign lasted 15 years, marked by administrative reform, economic prosperity, and relative stability. She expanded the bureaucracy, introduced agricultural policies to combat famine, and encouraged the examination of local officials' conduct, a rare accountability in Imperial China. Under her, the capital Luoyang became a Buddhist center of immense cultural prestige. The empire's art, trade, and infrastructure continued to thrive. But like every emperor before her, Wu ruled through both persuasion and fear. To maintain her grip on power, Wu Zhao, or Emperor Wu, as she was formerly known, relied on a network of secret police and loyal officials, men like Li Junshan, who rooted out dissent with ruthless efficiency. It's important to note, the Tang court had always been a place of conspiracies, assassinations, and coups. Male emperors like Taizong and Xuanzong committed similar purges, yet their actions were recorded as necessary statecraft. For Wu, the same acts became proof of female cruelty. Still, her rule inspired both admiration and fear. She promoted talented officials, including many from low birth, breaking the aristocratic monopoly on power, a policy that reshaped China's administration for centuries. By the late decade of 690, Wu Zhao was in her 70s, still sharp but increasingly isolated. She surrounded herself with the Zhang brothers, younger courtiers whose influence angered her ministers. In 705, a palace coup led by officials and her own son forced her to abdicate. The Tang Dynasty was restored, with Emperor Zhongzong returning to the throne. Wu lived only a few months more, dying peacefully in 705 at around 81 years old. After her death, Confucian scholars erased her dynasty from official records and vilified her as an unnatural woman who had usurped heaven's mandate. It was only later, when her posthumous title Wu Zetian, the ruler of heaven, was recorded, that history gave her the name we know today. Yet her reforms survived. Her bureaucracy, her exam system, and her meritocratic ideals became cornerstones of Chinese governance. In the centuries that followed, storytellers turned her into both villain and heroine, a seductress, a tyrant, a genius. Modern historians see her as a pragmatic ruler who brought order, prosperity, and reform, even as she fought to legitimize herself in a system built to exclude her. At her tomb near Xi'an stands a blank stone stele, unique among China's emperors. No inscription, no praise, no condemnation. Some say Wu Zhao herself ordered it that way, believing that no words could define her, that history would write her epitaph. Others believe her sons left it blank, erasing her name from glory even as they restored the Tang. And some see it as a silent compromise, a truce between her memory and her dynasty's politics. Whatever the truth, the wordless stela endures as a fitting symbol of her legacy. A ruler who broke every convention, defied every limitation, and left behind a silence that still speaks of power, of ambition, and of a woman who became emperor. She was the only woman to ever rule China as emperor, and her reign remains one of its most remarkable chapters. Wu Zetian, Empress, usurper, visionary, the woman who dared to rule the Middle Kingdom